23. Be sober. Love is such a thing which pleases both who loves and is loved. Love is there in the sweet touch of a child, a touch by mother or wife on the forehead of a man suffering from fever, a nice love letter gift or only a look. We understand those feelings but cannot express it. We exchange but cannot catch hold of it. We love, are loved and suffer without it. We melt the little emotions of little men by love only. There is nothing false in the love by touch. Of course, love by touch is of two kinds, soft and hot. Soft love can be expressed to father, mother, children, brothers and sisters, friends, pet animals and even to trees and plants. If a matured son embraces his mother, it is nothing but a soft love. This soft love is always very sweet. And hot love is there between a young man and a young woman, where a sexual desire is hidden within both of their minds. If a lover touches a finger of her beloved, a hot feeling is there in it. A child wants love of his mother, a husband wants it from his wife, and a woman wants to surrender herself in the embrace of love of the man of her liking. Even a pet cat wants the love of its master. A woman lives for love. Men struggles for love. Love is not only expressed by a touch or a physical union. Love can be expressed without touching anybody. The love which is more fine, is more deep. The love which more rough, physical or more vague, a showmanship and intended to serve self-interest. Love is final, nothing is beyond it. Like encashment of a check from a bank. Nobody accepts the love expressed not in time. Petting is a natural expression of love. Petting is that language of love which expresses evaluation of the person petted. He who cannot evaluate his beloved, does not know how to pet her. Petting is that touch of love which expresses within a moment single quote, "Be sure you are not evaluated a little." In any kind of love, both physical and mental petting are equally important. If somebody is not mentally petted, physical pet who is carries no value. His loneliness also is not removed. A sexual union is possible without petting. But no love is possible without petting. In daylight and publicly, we pet only children or pet animals. On pettings beyond it, the third world has put a curtain as if there is a hidden crime beyond other pettings. And has declared that the other pettings are to be done in solitude, during night and in dark. There is a conflict between light and petting. Only the European civilization has focused light on petting. There is no hesitation on the physical expression of petting. That expression is equally shown during day and night, secretly or openly, at home or in the crowd. In the cold countries, physical warmness may be more important. A strong petting can say, "You are not neglected, at least in the winter." Desire for sexual intercourse is not the result of a sin, but is a natural and nice expression of life. This is quite natural that a man will feel attraction and sexual tendency at the sight of a beautiful woman, and same in the case with a woman when he sees a healthy and handsome young man. Those who find wrong in sexual union are mentally ill. A no satisfaction of sexual desire between a man and a woman is quite natural, like drinking a glass of water by a thirsty man. But people are hesitated and conceal it too much. In a life, a warm and continuous petting is much needed. Before understanding the difference between beauty and excellent beauty, when the life was full of touch and smell only, petting and being petted began. Desires of a man become emotion and knock at all the doors of his body. Physical desires are of prime importance during youth, and consciousness is then controlled by subconsciousness. Then illusions again open its eyes. And again petting comes back. In the two sexually satisfied bodies, it again accommodates itself, as the thirst of the heart is never-ending. While civilized people feel uneasy at the physical closures. They think that kissing between lips may cause infection. Runs away from her lover if he has not brushed teeth with a costly toothpaste, and thinks that a wild buffalo has come if he has not used a foreign perfume. This is the age of showmanship. Young ladies, like the words like, "He, how are you?" A little touch on the cheek, that all. He who cannot kiss, cannot love as well. Kissing is the declaration, signature and agreement of love. Kiss is the energy of love. There is no sugar or honey in a kiss, yet there is nothing sweeter than a kiss. The kiss which is given on a face sometimes touch the heart. Hidden kisses are always very sweet. Believe it or not, heaven is not an imagination, but it is there in a kiss. Remember, he who has kissed a woman on her lip will consider sweet meat as not sweet at all. When a girl crosses 15 years and if she is healthy, she wants that somebody should kiss her, should roam with her. Love protects a woman's glamour, and petting, embrace and kiss are the foods of a woman's body. Love keeps beauty fresh, and petting feeds a woman's body as flowers feed the bees. Man should enjoy his physique more and more, to fall in love and to have the same feelings for other as well. No man or woman is ready to share his or her darling with anybody else. No lover wants to hear the name of some other lover or anything like that. In such cases, love talks are not at all required. A lover should always remain neat and clean, and should express through all his expressions that he loves his beloved and he is not at all interested for any other woman in the world. At the same time, he should present her gifts from time to time. Love is such a platform which drives away disparity among all classes of people if they get up on that. Love between a man and a woman is incomplete without a union. Without sexual enjoyment, love is dry. When a love is satisfied, its beauty decreases to a great extent. Love between a man and a woman is a natural process, but in case of a homosexual love, the free will, taste and mentality of two persons, and here love has become an art. Sexual love begins from separation and ends by loneliness. One should not express one's love to another without understanding the other person's mentality. When a man and a woman remains obedient to each other and pay respect to each other in the society, an eternal love is created between them. Love affairs between a man and a woman can begin with a look only. Then gradually it proceeds towards sexual union. We can understand that the source of love is hidden in the body. To tell more clearly, love is platonic and cannot go far without physical union. Love must become a physical affairs. An immature love says, "I love you because I want you." And mature love says, "I want you because I love you." A desire is not only a physical phenomenon. Mind is of course behind it. Love is mainly a mental phenomenon, and a physical desire follows it. Body is beauty, beauty is sex, sex is love, and love is the relief of a soul. Without love, an excellent beautiful woman can't please others. With the help of a body, some other body can be enjoyed. And by love, two persons can touch each other's heart. Sexual union is a must for a couple, as it keeps their love tied up. Mental union without a physical union is vague, meaningless and impractical, and on the other hand, physical union without a mental union is nothing but a blind biological reaction. Without a lover up to the liking, even a bed of roses seem to be a thorny garden. When a man and a woman want each other exclusively, a love affairs begin between them. Love between a young man and a woman is directly related to sexual desire. When a mind wants physical union, the body wants sexual union. So long the knowledge of sex is not available for all concerned, people will go on suffering in many ways. Love without sex is an impractical imagination. And sexual intercourse without love cannot give full satisfaction to anybody. If you like a girl and go to Woodyard with her, the liking will be converted into love. Both a lover and a beloved become very much eager to unite themselves when they go to a lonely forest together. Then both of their faces become reddish with emotion. And when they come back from there, they marry each other. Love is the ultimate goal of human being, and sexual union is the ultimate goal of love. Pleasure after winning a woman is not less than that after invading a land. In course of time, mental union ends. At sexual union they thrills one another. Sexual intercourse is nothing but putting off clothes, using saliva, sweating and mixing of sperm for 10 to 15 minutes only, but only for this thing a friend attempts to kill his some other friends. Women engaged to men is a fatal war, and cry or laugh. Love is a one kind of childishness. There is nothing like love, the main thing is sense of rights and sense organs. As men say, like, my house, my wife, my night, my bed, my wish, etc. When a boy or a girl attain youth, physically and mentally they become very much enthusiastic, loving, become very much liberal to forgive everything, and a smell of sex is created in their bodies. Nobody is exempted from this system, even a saint. The reactions of sexual love go on in the minds of the human being from adolescence period to middle age. So it is evident that sexual desire is the strongest desire of a man. This desire is expressed sometimes as sexual love, sometimes as affection, friendship or devotion. Lust based on sense organs is called sexual intercourse. Spiritual lust is love and humanitarian lust is friendship. The fifth stage of thought is love. Desire for enjoyment is sexual intercourse, and when it is done, love remains. From love comes affection, from affection to sexual affairs, from sexual desire to marriage, from marriage to love, and from love to a passion. Animals have no conscience and intelligence but sexual tendency. But human beings have both conscience and intelligence, and well as sexual desire. Lust is productive. A drop of liquid is produced out of sexual union. The system of reproduction lies in this drop, in result of which is the creation and spread of all creatures. Sexual tendency is created due to the shaking the universe. Lust is the first achievement of creation. As such, it is called a mental state. Sexual desire spoils a man's career. Desires make a man poor. All creatures feel pain on penetration of lust. All creatures lose its way when they are engaged in sex game. Sexual desires bring sorrows and fear. Sex is like iron and love is like pure gold. Illusions grow from desires, from illusions to a state without religion. Sexual desire comes from a physical reaction. Although somebody desires sexual union earnestly, yet too much of it will return from such desire. The best way to win desires is to satisfy it. By enjoyment, sexual desire does not end. After lustful, one should quiet think over and hold the love within one's heart. Once you know yourself, all your desires will wash away. Impediment to sexual union begets anger. Negligence towards sense organs stops sexual desires. In fact, sexual desire is an addiction towards action, and love is an addiction towards a person. Sexual union is fully a physical action, but love is the mental action to a great extent. Sexual desire is blind and it is satisfied by any opposite sex. And love is conscious and inclines to a particular person. Sexual desire is beastly and love humanly. A sex-monger wants his own satisfaction only, whereas a love wants to satisfy his beloved. A sex-hungry is selfish, and a lover gets delight out of sacrifice for his beloved. Love is an integral part of sexual desire. Love and desire are two different matters. Desire is a temporary excitement and love is calm, steady and universal. A physical desire attracts males towards females, and this attraction is not for a particular female but for a female in general. As the meat of a deer or a yam is all the same to a hungry man, a sex-hungry man's attitude towards women is the same. Men hanker after beautiful women as they do it after a tasty food. Sex is as like as food. Sexual intercourse is as essential as food for maintaining one's health. As such, it is related to religion and money. Food is necessary for body and sexual affairs for mind. Hunger for sex is the strongest of all hungers. Sexual desire is a universal physical hunger. No hunger is so strong as it is for sexual union. Sexual desire is also a quite natural phenomenon like food and drink. Human sex spares nobody like that for food and drink. Reproduction of mankind depends on it. When sexual union is done in a proper way, both religion as well as heredity is protected. A controlled sex affair keeps a soul calm and quiet. When a mind joined with a soul directs ears, skin, eyes, tongue and nose to satisfy their own desires is called a sex affair. Sexual desire is created when a satisfaction comes out of kiss and embrace touching the different parts of bodies of two opposite sex. To make a sexual union more acceptable, space and enjoying the whole body is necessary. Here space means body and organ means garlanding, embracing, essence, music, a pleasant spot, a palace, closure to nature, etc. Satisfaction of sexual affairs can be gained more and more through efficient application. The characteristics of lust are beauty, taste, voice, smell, touch, etc. The wife who is proficient in songs, dance, musical instruments, painting, makeup, dress up, arranging home with novelty, cooking, making various drinks, household works, wisdom, conversation, hairstyling, messaging, keeping the body fit by exercise, practical knowledge, and is tactful, is sexual, very much attractive to her husband. The arts while in bed are to know how to uncover the body of the partner easily, embracing and to excite the sexual sensitive parts of the body. Hunting, gambling, excessive sexual intercourse and drinking wine are harmful for sex life. Adversity of sexual tendency of a person are addicted, promised, suffers from sleeplessness, tension, becomes weak, dirty, becomes madly sick, disinterested to any matter, feels hesitation, becomes shameless and suffers from nervous disorder. Due to excessive sexual intercourse a man becomes sexually weak, suffers from cough, respiratory problems, weakness, muscular pain and loss of intelligence, so maintain limit in sex affairs. Sexual relation and sexual union is an essential part of human life. Indisciplined behavior of a person corrected through sexual intercourse. There is nothing like physical maladjustment in sex affairs, but mental union ends at a successful sexual union. Human being lives for a belly, love and enjoyment. Man cannot live without a consolation. A man must have an attraction to live for himself or towards somebody else or an animal or a work. This part of soul can never remain vacant. The helpless soul cannot live without affection, illusion and peace. The habitual dissatisfied soul is always to be satisfied by fulfilling its desires, otherwise, it does not remain alive. A man must have some desires to live. A man can find out the real meaning of his life when he can invent something more valuable than his life. All sexual tendencies like love, friendliness, at some stage become attractive to the opposite sex and envious to the same sex, which is called Oedipus desire or Electra desire. During sexual intercourse somebody is having a strong tendency to bite and to press his or her partner. Both of partners enjoy these actions. Get sexual enjoyment through oppressed is called tolerate tendency, and through outrageous is called outrage tendency. This kind of men and women don't enjoy sexual union without these activities. Where there is no love, offensive tendency and tendency for death come there. Generally what we call love is our tendency for sexual union. This tendency is very strong, but with the decrease of beauty and youth it decreases gradually. Companion of a woman is the most attractive to a man in comparison with all other companions. Sexual union is an essential part of human life like his death. The man or woman who is deprived of company and sexual union has no meaning of his or her life. But the unity grows between a couple on the basis of this strong tendency mixed with friendliness, sympathy and affection, is called conjugal love. Women often do not respond much towards physical satisfaction. They make sexual union with their husbands as their duty, not for physical satisfaction. Women tolerate the sexual union with their husbands against their wills more than a prostitute. Difference between a prostitute and a wife is that prostitute rents her body of the time being like a day laborer, and a housewife sells her body forever and becomes a slave of her husband. Marriage is nothing but a long-term prostitution. The custom of marriage is a legal coverage of prostitution by the government. Women exchange their sex with lifelong necessities. A wife gets the protection of law and the prostitutes don't get it. If wives are relieved of sexual affairs, then husbands may go to the professional prostitutes. Physically everybody is the same outwardly. But in fact each of them is quite different. What a wonderful is their movement, expression, desire and way of love. Male sex is never satisfied. He won't be satisfied if he gets all the women of the world. Mental illusions, illusions at sight, and the desires of youth is the love of the males. The males who are successful in their worldly life are oversexed. Most of the males are sex-starved. He may be married or unmarried. Women are responsible to keep the married men sex-starved. If a boy is hungry, it is quite natural for him to steal the fruits from others' gardens. Most of the men want such a maid who is like a prostitute. A man wants to use a woman like a tasty ripe fruit since his nervous system is active. He wants to suck a woman like a tamarind, to bite like a guava and to leap like the juice of a pineapple. As if a woman is for chewing, sucking, leaping and drinking. Young men did not know and do not know that women have something else except their bodies. Men don't bother for women's mentalities but they remain engaged with their bodies only. As such, it is very easy for a woman to deceive a man. If a woman loves a man, she can easily present her body. What is there in this body? But it is wonderful that to most of the men, this body is valuable and there is no value of mind. In love, body is the main thing, it is the beginning, it is the end, everything is the body. Why there is so much quarrels between middle-aged couples? Because their bodies are setting. Why the old husband and wife tortures each other in many ways? Because the sensations of their bodies are dying. A husband starts hating his wife when love becomes cold between there. Love is biological and sexual. No love remains when there is no youth. Love grows between two bodies like electric current. It is not necessary to keep an electric bulb lighted all the time. But it can be lighted at any time by pushing a switch, as there is a continuous electric flow in the electric wave. Love between a young man and woman is exactly like that. In the body of a man or a woman there is always a flow of love like electricity, so it flows on even when they do not fall on love. So the words, smiles, company, going away, quarrel and union after quarrel of a young man and a woman are all sweet to each other, and behind all these are their bodies. Body is the main thing, everything, it is the most dependable thing for a couple. Marriage depends on it and on the basis of this thing, men can expect that two persons will remain united throughout their lives. It is meaningless to mix up physically with somebody, if there is no mental union with him or her, as it is in the case of a singer and a song. Human life becomes meaningless as soon as his sexual life ends. Then, they only count the days for death. Life is an endless wonderful journey of love. Everybody whosoever tasted or not tasted sexual union repents. Sexual enjoyment is the greatest enjoyment of human beings' life. No enjoyment can be compared with this enjoyment. If the snake of love and physique does not bite anybody, then it is understood that he or she is not a man or a woman but has probably become a machine. Without love, sexual union is never excellent. Sense for love starts with the start of sexual sensations and the source of love is the body. There is no remarkable sexual competition between men and women. They fulfill each other's physical satisfaction. The more a woman reacts during enjoy they get more love. That is why calm and quiet women are neglected in sexual affairs. The woman who moves much out of home, spends a long time at home with other men. Always wants to attract others towards her, spends time uselessly with friends, becomes friendly with anybody. Proper stylist, having co-wife, does not like the company of her husband and hates him. The woman who is engaged in adultery is unfertile, spends more time in paternal house after marriage, whose children dies, widow. Wife of elder brother, who considers her husband as coward, ugly, uncultured, sick, old, dirty, impotent, envious, greedy, illiterate. The woman who has been compelled to be the wife of somebody and not impartial is neglected and insulted by her husband. And whose husband stays abroad, these type of woman very easily goes to bed with any other man. It is a heinous act to complain against others to the local administration and neighbors and at the same time by others' wife to serve all his purposes tactfully. Both a husband and a wife is to grow a close relation with each other's family. A male should cooperate with female in her domestic works if possible. A male should praise female and should give importance to her opinions. In this way, the wife will consider her husband as the greatest. Whenever a suitable situation is there and the wife intends, the husband should satisfy her sex. There are 4 kinds of heroes, such as slow and liberal, slow and soft, slow and calm and slow and aggressive. Naturally a hero is generous, a successful man looking handsome, efficient in working, popular, vigorous, scholar and gentle. He who does not praises himself does not become uncontrolled during happiness or unhappiness, hides his pride with politeness and keeps his promise is called having a personality with slow but liberal. He who is polite and loves cultural activities is called having a slow and soft personality. He who has many qualities is called having a slow and calm personality. He who is kind, aggressive, restless, proud, and self-praising is called a man having a slow but aggressive personality. Women are of three types: simple or pleasant, mediocre, and talkative. At first, you are to be introduced with a woman, and then you are to win her through conversation. If a woman is calm and quiet, you are to proceed forward steadily and try to understand her mentality. Through conversation, you will understand her desires. If you get a positive response, as she is speedy. After positive responses from a woman, you are to be sure about her desires. If you are sure, then prepare yourself as if there is no shame, fear or defame in mixing with others. Women mix with other men with the intentions of gaining money, to solve some problem, for some remedial action, to true love, for reputation, and out of fear, shame and sympathy, fame and living together. So as soon as their purposes are served, they control themselves and neglect the men. Difference between unchaste and an unchaste woman is like thin curtain of courage. Unchaste women are always autocrats. She lives in the world with her own identity only and fully independently. Chaste of a woman is not only a physical phenomenon. How many women are there who are mentally chaste? When there is a false and breach of peace in the sexual union between a man and a woman, is the adultery. When there is no hesitation in a sexual union, is not a crime at all. The hesitation is the sin, not the breach of social customs. On the other hand, if a man and a woman get social approval and make sexual union but they are not mentally united, their sexual union is nothing but prostitution. Whatever a philosopher may think, common people consider love and sex as the same, and according to the scientists both the things are nothing but biological matters. Behavior of a man and a woman is not a matter of scientific research, it can be judged by their sexual emotions and moral status. The important matter is to settle for their sexual satisfaction. Need knowledge of coordinate between give and take. To make a conjugal life happy, there should be tasteful, matured, well-coordinate and satisfying sexual relation between the couple. Between a couple, there should be understanding, patience and maturity of emotions. The main idea behind a superstition-free sexual relation is one should not think of need only but to evaluate each other's willingness and should have regard for each other. Men and women both have a strong desire for sexual satisfaction. This is a natural tendency. Through a variety in sexual union, a couple becomes more and more attractive to each other. The characteristic of a human being is to satisfy his or her taste. Here, the customs of the country is not much important. Remember that in a conjugal life no limb, art or way should be hated or is perverted. Whatever is satisfying, is true and nice. Sexual perversion is mostly available in males. All kinds of sexual affairs are natural. There is nothing like sexual perversion. As one should not cut joke with a person who does not understand it, likely any art should not be applied to a person who is unwilling. One should apply art of sex according to the acceptability of his or her partner. Whatever is pleasant is delightful and is favorable to sexual union. The characteristic of sex is flowingness, and any impediment in this flow disturbs the physical and mental stability. Satisfaction of sense organs is the sexual satisfaction. Sexual dissatisfaction is very much harmful. Full sexual satisfaction lies in making a sex game more and more closely and acceptable. Throughout the world, in the primitive society, love played the most important role in the duty and religious lives of the people. Love play therefore is called the primitive enjoyment. Love play is of two kinds: enjoyment and stimulation. There are four kinds of acting in love: playing slowly and calmly is bodily, talking an edible and Puritan way. In the love play the male is active and the female is passive. If both the male and the female are equally stimulated before a sexual union, and if both of them are fully satisfied, then the purpose of the sexual union will be fully served. Behind it, mutual love and good relation between the partners needed. In human body no organ are so sensitive like sex organs. Women are more sexy than men, but they don't express it outwardly but hide it due to their natural shyness. Nature has given a woman such a power that she alone can satisfy more than one man, but a man cannot satisfy more than one woman. But the man-controlled society has introduced the custom of keeping more than one wife by a husband. Purpose of sexual intercourse is production of child and biological and mental satisfaction. Cleanliness, essence, sexual postures and the way of birth control are to be considered in this regard. Bad smell from sweat, mouth and teeth are too much distasteful. Even the dress and the seats and beds are to be clean and scented. Every wife should try to keep herself attractive to her husband by makeup according to her ability. Beard, mustache or any hair should not hinder kiss. Between a man and a woman who can first kiss on another's lip, wins the game. Sometimes the game is should be played with hypocrisy or simplicity. Although winning is sure in a hypocrite game, still in a game without hypocrisy, better result is derived. Although there is uncertainty of winning in it if somebody fails in a game without hypocrisy, his or her partner feels for him or her. As there is less excitement at the beginning of a sexual union, so love plays like kissing, pinching, biting, messaging, leaping, sucking, scratching, pressing, torturing etc. should not apply at a time and hastily. Due to this sometimes an unwillingness may arise in the partner and as a result, the sexual union will not be satisfactory. Through application of love plays gradually and one by one, a sexual union becomes satisfactory. The various stages of a sexual intercourse or loving words and expressions are the primary love play. Embracing, kissing, pressing and sexual union, that is the full-fledged love plays. Sexual intercourse and different ways of intercourse are there also. The various love plays are kissing, sucking, leaping, light biting, messaging breast vagina and the whole body embracing, pressing and companionship. And sexual intercourse by kissing, embracing, messaging and biting, a woman gradually becomes excited and tends for sexual intercourse. Head, hair, hip and chest are the sensitive organs of a woman. By light hits on these organs, discharge of lubricant from women's vaginas begins. One should not start sexual intercourse if his partner is not fully excited. Lips, forehead, fingers, armpits, size checks, ears, shoulders, neck, chest, breast, nipples of the breasts, hips, vaginal canal, clitoris, and vagina are the sexually sensitive organs of a woman. During love play, each of these organs are important, although nipples of the breasts, clitoris, vagina and lips are the most sensitive organs. Touching, looking, petting, smelling, knocking, pinching, embracing, kissing, messaging etc. are called primary sexual union. Elevation of penis during sexual intercourse is the main thing. During sexual excitement, penis of a man is elevate and the breasts of a woman become strained, nipples start shacking, hips are extended, clitoris becomes hard like an erected penis and the surrounding of the navel is stretched. After fulfillment of sexual desert, a man ejaculates sperm and the excitement of a woman gradually goes down. Before the full satisfaction of sexual intercourse, a man feels stimulates and after full satisfaction, remains calm for a while. After sexual intercourse should not separate the bodies quickly, then kisses the partner keeping the body as before, plays bit with the breasts of the partner and then the excitement back to normal. Otherwise the woman becomes irritated towards her partner. Sexual union is a matter of long practice, as such one should not do it hastily. Before a sexual union, a man should engage in love talks with his partner. When the partner is full engaged in love talks, then very slowly her body is should be uncovered and then the shyness of her partner is should be removed and the vagina is should be uncovered. A half-naked body of a woman creates much sexual excitement of a man. Sensitive organs of a woman are to be made excited by love play if required. Fingers should be entered inside her vagina. As a result, secretion of lubricating fluid will come out from vagina in this stage. Penises should be placed on the vagina. After the union of a penis and a vagina, squeezing and expansion of vagina is an important factor. At the same time, the woman is to take the penis inside and pull it outside by her vagina at full speed. A bit cruelty during sexual intercourse is an expression of too much excitement. Each of the sexual partner is to respond to his counterpart according his or her actions during a sexual union. If a woman is calm and quiet, her sexual partner should also be like that, and if she is speedy, her partner should also act accordingly. When a woman gets up and takes active part like a man, is called the opposite sexual union. After sexual intercourse once, or when a man is tired, then the opposite sexual union should be started. This is the second stage of sexual union. Of course, this is troublesome for fatty women. In this way, a woman having menstrual period cannot conceive, and a woman who has just delivered a child may suffer from leukorrhea, and a woman may face abortion. After sexual intercourse, the tiredness of a woman should be removed by sweet words and slight pettings. If a woman is not too much shy, a man should embrace her by lower part of the body. At the first night after marriage, a wife should be touched very slightly so that sexual excitement grows within herself. At the same time, she should be a bit treated of sexual union. For example, the husband should say, "I will kiss you so strongly that your lips will be red." Just after that, pretension to done for biting her checks, but the husband should be careful that the wife should not feel irritated. When the wife is habituated in touch and rub, the wife should be made worried in any way, and should be made free by expressing the husband in favor of the wife's mentality. Then the hand of the wife should be got hold and should be touched to eyes, mouth, forehead and chest, and the husband's head should be massaged. At the first night after marriage, touch the lower part of wife's body more and kiss her whole body. If possible, at this night or thereafter, rub her throat and vagina, embrace and kiss her and make her fully excited. Through love play, step by step, the love and confidence of the wife is to be grown. As a result, the wife will be much inclined to her husband and have no doubt about her husband. In this way, the mutual relation between husband and wife becomes clean and deep, and then gradually preparation for sexual intercourse is to be taken. Otherwise, due to beastly behaviors of a husband, a bad reaction may grow within the wife. Due to inability of a successful sexual union, love between a couple is harmed. If a couple makes sexual union according to the procedure of medical science, the couple will remain physically and mentally sound and will remain sexually satisfied. Before sexual unions or after the husband's ejaculation, the husband should love play with his wife's clitoris for her full satisfaction. Excitement and sexual satisfaction of a woman depend on clitoris and its surroundings. If a husband selects such a way of sexual union that his penis rubs the clitoris of his wife more and more, the wife will get more satisfaction and the conjugal life will be more happy. Sexual union in various ways excite the couple more and they get more satisfaction as well. Sometimes it is necessary for good health and for a happy conjugal life. It is very important. Mutual petting, cooperation and rest after sexual union brings relaxation and peace in a conjugal life. At the end of a sexual intercourse, a couple should pet each other slowly and for a sufficient duration. Sexual satisfaction is a physical action, but a person gets mental satisfaction as well out of it. Satisfaction, contentment and pleasure in a sensual union depend fully on the well-adjustment of sizes of the sexual organs of a couple. If it is not adjusted, a successful sexual intercourse is not possible. If a penis is larger and thicker in comparison to the depth and breadth of a vagina, the woman will feel pain, and if the penis is smaller, the woman won't be satisfied. But a bit satisfaction is derived if both of them are fully excited. On the basis of the sizes of penis and vagina, timing of sexual union, ejaculation after a long or short period, the sexual satisfaction varies. Sex is nothing but a practice. Generally, if a man of hare, ox or horse type and a woman is of doe, horse or elephant type, sexual union between them will be much enjoyable. Or if a man is hare, deer or horse type and a woman is lotus, pictograph, conch or elephant type, sexual intercourse between them will also be much satisfactory. Before or after penetration of the penis, the circumference of a vaginal entrance can be reduced by pressing thigh with each other. After the penis is penetrated, the two legs of the wife are to be placed like the alphabet X. By dashing the solution of alum or copper sulfate or anything like that with the vagina, its circumference can be reduced. For the best mental satisfaction out of a sexual union, solitude, light or dark etc. should be selected according to mutual choice. When the two sex organs unite each other, the speed of blood circulations of both the partners increases. At this stage, sex organs of both the partners become very much sensitive for a sexual intercourse. A long love play and being physically and mentally excited is essential for a successful sexual intercourse. A man or woman becomes attractive to each other when before a sexual intercourse, they control themselves, keeps ejaculation arrested for long and make a long-time sexual intercourse. When the penis is penetrated inside a vagina and scratches the inner wall of the vagina to gives it comfort by continuous rubbing, vaginal secretion occurs and the woman gets a sexual satisfaction. Sexual intercourse of a man and a woman is like a cycle. At the beginning of the cycle, a woman is slow and a man is fast. At the second stage, both of them gain the same speed, and at the end, the speed of the man goes slower but the woman gains the highest speed at this stage. At last, when both the partners discharge secretions, the speed of both of them go down and finally it stops. As such, before a sexual intercourse, a woman should be made fully excited by various love games and then penis should penetrate in the vagina. To increase the duration of a sexual intercourse, the love game is to be shortened. Duration of a sexual intercourse increases by reducing the rate of respiration and mental excitement, keeping mental stability and often union. Rate of penetration is also reduced for a long sexual intercourse. From time to time, the penises should be brought out of the vagina. To stop early ejaculation of a man, rate of penetration should be reduced and the rate of movement of waist of the woman should be increased. The woman should be made more active in the game and the man should think over some other unattractive matter. As a result, excitement of the man will reduce and his ejaculation will be later. The clitoris should be made excited by the partial erected penis. The second sexual intercourse should be done as soon as possible. Before a sexual intercourse, rubbing of camphor at the tip of the penis and taking a bit of drug lessens a man's excitement and makes his ejaculation later. At the end of a sexual intercourse, a man should pet his partner for 10 to 15 minutes, otherwise, his partner will not get the full satisfaction and will be irritated. As such, after a sexual intercourse, the partners should not be detached straightway, it increase the affection. At this stage, both of them should kiss and pet each other. At the same time, hands should be placed on head, neck, hip, back and all other parts of the body. Small kisses can also be given at this stage. The final success of a sexual intercourse is full satisfaction. So both the sexual partners should get satisfaction simultaneously. Before the penis is squeezed, the woman should be fully satisfied. If one of the partner is offensive during a sexual union, the other should be defensive. Then there will be a harmonious and successful sexual union and the conjugal life will be happy. If a couple is of same nature, a monotony will come in their sexual life. The couple who pet each other daily suffer from monotony. The main purpose of sexual union is satisfaction. But excessive sexual intercourse brings monotony. You should pet and make sexual union with your wife so scarcely that your neighbors understand when you do it with her. Like a tiger and tigress. Frequency of intercourses should be reduced but its duration on each occasion should be increased for enjoyable satisfaction. Without the variety nothing is enjoy. If somebody becomes habituated to handle a woman's body, he will find no more charm in it and at last a woman's body will not attract him. By the natural way of birth control, that is taking penis out of vagina before ejaculation, possibility of conception decreases but no satisfaction is derived from this kind of sexual union. Due to this, the man breaks down physically and mentally and the woman also suffers from various mental complications. As such, without impeding a sexual union, some other way of birth control should be adopted. Using prevention, a couple can remain free from many diseases, including production of an unwanted child. The person who is having too much tendency for sexuality is excited by suppression of this tendency. A sexual union should be made attractive by intentional impediments. Nobody should make a valuable thing cheap as it defeats own self, like many a time sex lost its attraction and become monotonous. A husband should make sexual union with his wife at her will. In this way, the husband will have to put less effort. Control of sex is very important. Random sexual union and masturbation end up a man's life untimely. Both envy and sex are to be kept under control. If somebody remains engaged in his daily activities, including activities relating to his family life and society, his sexual tendency is suppressed to a great extent. A man can proceed towards prosperity if he diverts his sexual tendency towards the way of social works and self-development. When money is involved with sex, it brings disaster. The purpose of sexual union should be intended for mutual satisfaction and with mutual willingness. During early conjugal life, a wife's vagina does not expand much. At this stage, forceful penetration may give her pain. By an appropriate way of sexual union, a short penis may be felt as long by a woman. Sexual union in variety of ways brings more and more pleasure and satisfaction. In most of the cases, sexual inability of a man depends on his psychology and emotion. Through medical treatment and cooperation of partner, early ejaculation of a man can be stopped. The idea that some sin is there in sexual union indirectly harms many people. This harming remains from childhood throughout a man's life. Sex is 99% a mental phenomenon and only 1% is physical. Most of the sexual complications arise due to mental tensions. Those who are free from superstitions related to sex can get and give full satisfaction to their partners. There is some other body inside each man's and woman's body. There is a strong and unresistible appetite and thirst in that body. That body also becomes sick from time to time. It also needs nursing. If a man makes sexual intercourse with his wife twice a week and hundreds times in a year, won't lose his health. Both non-ejaculation and resisting ejaculation are harmful for a man's health. A natural ejaculation cools down the nerves naturally and brings a free relaxation in his body and mind. When a person gets full satisfaction in a sexual union, peace and strength increases and heart is fulfilled with delight. He or she can concentrate in work and his or her energy increases. By self-sex or masturbation, one's nervous tension is removed. Mind is concentrated towards work, sympathy for others increases, mental depression and frustration goes away and physical and mental tensions go away. Becomes happy, temperament improves, love and desire for love is contented. It brings patience, stability, tolerance, energy, removes depression and brings freshness and reduces sleeplessness, tension. After being satisfied with a sexual union, women either sleeps or talk much. And when the union is unsuccessful, she is derailed, lose interest in works. Loses temperament, mind and body remain full of irritation. Feel burning sensation in her eyes and face. Feel dizzy and suffer from vomiting tendency. Gradually become hateful towards sexual union. Becomes attractive towards artificial sex affairs. And expresses disinterest for the life. The main cause of separation of a conjugal life is dissatisfaction from sexual intercourse. The causes of less excitement for sexual affairs are untimely and unhabituated excitement, less known or unknown environment. Fear, worries, mental unadjustment with sexual partner, much strain on nerves, sexual union with a less known or unknown person, physical weakness, fatigue, worries, depression, wrong notion about sex or for any chronic sexual problem, a person may suffer from temporary or long-term sexual disability. Causes of unsuccessful sexual union are if somebody is not properly excited for a sexual union, does not know the proper or appropriate way of sexual union, physical weakness, early ejaculation, maladjustment of nerves, frequent sexual intercourse, and mental factor. Sexual intercourse without proper excitement, inclination towards any other man or woman. Too much excitement, frequent but less excitement, not engaging in sexual union when excited but to do it later, expression of anger, worries, shyness, etc. during sexual union. Sexual intercourse after a long interval. Sickness, weakness by birth, sexual disease and deficiency of hormone. Due to early ejaculation or a sexual union after a long interval, a woman may be irritated and afraid of sexual union, and she loses interest for a sexual union. When a penis is kept inside a vagina after a male's ejaculation, the penis becomes weak and unable for sexual intercourse. Mental sickness is the main cause for impotency of a man and sexual coolness of a woman. Fear of unsuccess in sexual union, hatred, distaste, mutual mental strain, negligence, absence of love, fear of others' presence during sexual union, physical sickness, sexual perversion, maladjustment of age and sex organs of the partners etc. affect the power and taste for a sexual union badly. Symptoms of impotency are disability of erection of penis, early ejaculation, inability of sexual intercourse, fear, wrong notion, shyness and hesitation. Mainly, impotence is fully a mental sickness, but 5% causes are to physical disability. Emotion plays an important role in sexual life. Sexual sensation is created in mind and lack of concentration impedes physical feelings. Homosexuality is also a reason for disability in sex. Some men don't feel excitement till they can't make sexual union through rectum. Various problems arise in the conjugal lives of such type of men. Symptoms of coolness towards sex are headache, weakness, sickness of breast, body ache, dizziness, excessive sweating, fainting, worries and frustration. Mainly, sexual coolness is a symptom of some mental complication. A woman suffers from sexual coolness due to the painful experiences of childhood or adolescence period. Doubt about own physical and mental strength, weakness in personality or character, fear, worry, frustration and hatred etc. with mental sympathy of a man and a woman along with mental treatment, these diseases are recovered. Sex is a soft, delightful and a nice feeling. Sexual tendency varies from person to person due to environment, health, age, temperament, education etc. Men want a regular sexual union, but it is quite possible for a woman to refrain from sexual union for months together. The main cause of nocturnal is mental. It occurs when the desire of a person subsided in his or her conscious or subconscious mind is outbursted during sleep. Besides this, there are some physical reasons like rich food, softness and warmness of bed, abrasion of dress, physical touch of the person lying beside, condition of health, fatigue, too much thinking about sex, seeing sexually exciting photographs or reading such books or gossiping about such matters. Remedial or preventive actions can be taken if the particular reason or reasons are determined. A person acts according to chances, pressures, sights or by someone to incidents and accordingly his or her taste is grown up. Perverted taste is not grown up who is brought up in a normal family atmosphere. Unwanted attraction towards opposite sex will go away and an acceptable and normal behavior will grow between men and women by co-education, meeting in combined parties, playing together and free mixing. Sexual union with wife after her menstruation is over is the best for expectation for a child. Pious children are born by parent at the end of night. Pious children are born by parent from the 4th to the 14th day after her menstruation is over. By the sexual union with a lotus type of woman and a hare type of man, a wise, good conductful, pious and intelligent child is born. By a pictograph type of woman and a deer type of man, a happy, handsome and literate child. By conch type of wife and ox type of husband, a warrior child. Elephant type of wife and horse type of husband produces strong child. From the lotus type of wife and horse type of husband, a Puritan child. And from a conch type of wife and a hare type of husband, a pious child. The elephant type of a woman gives birth to child like a god if becomes pregnant in a good moment, and a conch type of woman gives birth to a lucky child if becomes pregnant in a good moment. Mental tension is harmful for a fetus. A mother is to remember it always and to remain cheerful. There is no doubt that due to non-compliance of the proper procedure for sexual union, defective driven are born. Sexual union is forbidden on the 14th, 8th, first day, full moon, new moon, last day, 11th days of lunar month, funeral day and before going out. A conceived woman should avoid laborious sexual union, eating food which is hard to digest, sleeping in daytime, morning, spending sleepless night, fast, carrying heavy things, seeing any ugly scene, worrying, laying with face upward, anger, too much chore movement by transports, sitting on the bed etc. If a mother makes sexual union during pregnancy in prescribed manner, there will be no harm to the mother or the fetus. A mother should make sexual union carefully during the first 6 months of her pregnancy, and after that up to 2 months after delivery she is to refrain herself from sexual union. A couple can remain free from the bites of sick mentality by a hygienic, strong and religious sexual life. Flourishment of personality is harmed if one cannot lead his or her sex towards a proper flow. Due to this, his or her mental health is also harmed. Sexual power can be kept by creative activities.